My response, Nick.
M0AUG from G4IWO. Just got your response there, Jeff. Thank you very much. Just checking audio quality and that it's all working before we run the net live on YouTube, of course, in a few minutes. M0AUG G4IWO.
Thanks, Nick. Catch you soon.
M0AUG.
Calling all members and friends of Pennine Hub to the Thursday evening digital mat. Speaking from a very, very windy QTH on the northwest mile coast up here. And I hope everybody's safe and well wherever you are. Quite a few recorded on the dashboard so far, so welcome to all those people who are listening on YouTube as well. And we'll go down the list and see who's joining us so far this evening. So the top of the list is Paul, G0TVB. Are you joining us this evening, Paul? Good evening, M0AUG. Paul. The next one, M7CRM. Chris, you're Dave's neighbour, I believe. Are you joining us this evening? On Alan, G6LU. Are you joining the net this evening, Alan? Good evening if you are.
I doubt if he is, Jeff. He's trying code plugs for myself and him because I'm having problems with my 878.
M6LUU. Is that who you're referring to, back to you?
Yeah, affirmative.
G6ZSN.
Okay, then, thank you for that. I've got 3 connections up at the moment coming up with people connected to G6LUU, so we'll take it as it goes. Over to you there, Jim. Are you joining us this evening? G4JBA, M0AUG. Alright. The next one on the list is the GB7H Extra Beta over in Huddersfield there, and thank you to Malcolm for making this facility available. I don't see anybody connected via HX at the moment, but if anybody is listening and wants to join us this evening, please call now. Hello there. Recording this evening. The good problem is it's staying with them, so that's a reasonable excuse, I think, and very much so. Over to you there, Bob in the Snappers, November 4, X-Ray, Alpha Tango in the group, M0AUG. Oh, you had a good Thanksgiving, Bob.
0AUG in the group, November 4, X-Ray Alpha Tango. Yes, I had a good Thanksgiving, and I had enough turkey to last me through till yesterday. And I enjoyed every bit of it. After last night's get-together, I hadn't used Peanut in quite a while, but I reloaded the program, and I have it now on my screen so that I can do that. And while I was about it, I also downloaded Long Chat, and I find it interesting. The Turkish fellow is building it, and he's still working on it, but I find it real interesting. Today I loaded it and I got it set up. I haven't made any contacts with it yet, but it looks interesting. But I did check, and my tones are going out, so eventually maybe I'll be able to make a QRP contact there. Haven't done anything on Parks on the Air today. I took the day off. It's very cold here. The high today was 2 degrees Celsius, and right now it's right around freezing, and very windy. We've lost power a couple of times already this morning because of the wind. So if I drop out, that's the reason. Back to you, Jeff. M0AUG with the group, November 4, X-Ray Alpha Tango.
X-Ray Alpha Tango in the group, M0AUG, returning here fine on that, Bob. And I had to leave the session last night after I had about four severe failures on the internet connection there at the fourth attempt. I decided that was enough for last night. What it was, I think there were some people working for the telecoms company outside or even in the exchange there. But it made a real mess of last week, and I'm going to have to rewatch it on video to catch up on the bits of the report that Karen did that I missed, unfortunately. Thank goodness we've got the YouTube there. Over to Northern Germany now, and over to Mike and Adriana. DL1 BJW, the DL8BET. Good evening to you both. Hope you enjoyed the meeting last night. M0AG.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey. Very good evening to all. Sorry. Indeed, we very much enjoyed the talk with Karen yesterday evening. It was very interesting, very informative, and she's a real nice person. We both liked her a lot. So that was quite a good evening. And give some more insight into Proto also. I wanted to say something. That was it. The WX here today has been relatively sunny in the morning, but then very cloudy the whole day. And rain started in the late afternoon, and it's still raining here. Temperature, curiously, has gone up a little bit. At noontime, we had a temperature of about +2 degrees Celsius, so it was relatively cold. But now in the evening, it's +5. so I can't calculate what this means. There's also some wind, and tomorrow there shall be some rain and temperature going up to 9 degrees. So let's wait and see. It's always up and down, obviously. But nevertheless, we are well, and I hope that everybody listening is also well and okay. More in the next over. I'm passing the microphone for now to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, yesterday's meeting was excellent, and I think it was also quite well to have the new form with interviewing interviewing Karin, and this was quite interesting. And which was amazing was her enthusiasm for the hobby and for POTA, and it was great to see and great to hear. So I hope that I'll meet her on the band sometime. Even if my CW skills are not so high, so I'll have to make some exercises to be able to communicate with her CW. So I hand the microphone to M0 AUG for the group.
Late BTT with DL1 BJW in the group out there, Asia returning. Yes, fine, Michael. Yes, it was good. Well, a different type of format. But it achieved everything he set out to do. And obviously, well done. He was coming up in a couple of minutes on that. And yes, Nick, of course, as you probably worked out from the WhatsApp group, actually managed to work Karin on CW, which, as Nick said, for anybody to be working a speaker as well on that. So we'll more on that when Nick comes on in a few minutes' time. Over to you there, down in Taunton, Dave. G607 in the group, M0AUG. Hope the weather's not too bad down there, Dave.
M0AUG in the group, G607, and good evening to everyone else on the net, whether on actual voice or watching and listening on the internet. Unfortunately, Jeff, no, the weather down here is absolutely atrocious. It hasn't been bad, although we've had rain throughout the day, and this evening it started absolutely hammering down. Heaven knows what it's going to be like at the weekend, where I'm told we'd face 70-mile-an-hour winds. I hope my aerials stay up, that's all I can say. But, yeah, it doesn't look good for the weekend, but that's the way it is. I managed to get my two aerials up in the loft, and they're both working. In fact, I'm using one of them now, so I hope the signal's okay. Hasn't got very far to go from upstairs to downstairs, so not exactly working hard. M0AUG in the group, although I just noticed I'm using full power, so I'm going to drop that down. M0AUG in the group, G6ZSM.
G6ZSM in the group, M0AUG. Yeah, that was no problem at all, and a nice clear and crisp signal. I don't know whether you're using the 7100 or not, but it's certainly doing the job for you. And whatever you do, Dave, stay safe. If antennas come down, don't think about putting them up or even putting them up at all. Get somebody else to do it. You know, you don't want to be climbing ladders. And I just hope all is okay with you. And if aerials come down, we're always on digital net somewhere. We can always keep in touch with each other. I know Andrew won't be with us this evening, so he's got involvement with the Victorian fairs and things, but obviously if the weather's not going to be too good down there, it's going to obviously affect what Andrew's doing as well. So when you speak to him next, give him our best wishes from the group, if you will, please. Over to you, Nick, KT4IWO in the group, M0AG.
M0AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, thank you very much, Jeff. And excuse me. Thank you very much, Jeff. And good evening to everyone on the net and to those listening on YouTube tonight or later during the week when people catch up on this. Yeah, I'm delighted everyone enjoyed last night. I was extremely impressed when I spoke to Karen a week or so ago in preparation for her coming to talk last night. What came across to me was what came across, I think, to everyone else, absolutely full of life and full of enthusiasm for amateur radio and everything she was doing. And that fun and that enthusiasm came across, I thought, really, really well last night. So thank you, everyone, for your kind comments. And I was particularly taken with the intervention of the CW mentor that she mentioned, John K2IZ, who popped up during the meeting to just say one or two words about Karen. And then even more poignant for me was Bob N4XAT discovering that he had been an instructor at the Naval Radio School at the very time that obviously a very young John K2IZ was there learning to become a naval radio operator. And that for me, that was fascinating as well. So all round, a very, very good night. And I'm glad everyone enjoyed it. And I hope as well people have enjoyed the promotion that Pennine Ham has got through the ICQ podcast. And thank you to Martin and his team for inviting me to say a few words about Pennine Ham, how it started, what we're trying to do. And I know that we'll get a lot of coverage through the podcast that they produced. So back to you, Jeff. M0AG in the group, G4IWO.
Group M0AG returning. Yes, fine on that, Mick. And it's been a good evening all round last night, wasn't it? And I've never actually listened to Karen speak, but I do follow the Ham Nation programs, and I've done since the beginning in the US. And obviously, when they're doing the amateur radio newsline on there, the presenter, Don Wilbanks, always mentions Karen and the news desk in New York. So it was good to actually see her and listen to her and listen to her side of the story, apart from Newsline and all the other interesting things that we got into. And obviously, the person who came online who was involved with Bob teaching many, many years ago, another wonder of what we're trying to do, and long may it continue there. Nick is doing very well. Up to the borders now, it's windy up there, is Tiki. GM4JKZ in the group, M0AEG.
M0AUG in the group, GM4JKZ. Yes, good evening, one and all, wherever you may be. And yeah, it was lovely and sunny this morning, blue skies, and turned to rain this afternoon, unfortunately. But like down south, they're expecting a few higher winds, so the vertical is going to come down tomorrow morning. And interestingly enough, I contacted Callum at DS Commander, asking for some additional bits for pieces for my antenna and the new antenna wire. And all of that arrived today, so it's coming down and it will have a rebuild with some new spreader plate of the new design, which looks superb. It'd be nice to get Callum to come and give us a talk, wouldn't it, on how he started up, but perhaps there's probably too many videos for that he's already done. So weather at the moment up here is 5.9 degrees outside, which is quite pleasant, and in here it's 20 degrees at the moment. So heating is clicking on and off. Karen interviewing the session and discussion last night, I really enjoyed. It was excellent. And the bit that I particularly liked was the story of the submarine radio operator at 37 words a minute. Where he said They only pop up shortly, so we've got a short period of time to send the message and go underwater again. So I did like that, I must admit. So with that, I'll put it back to you there, Jeff, M0AUG in the group, GM4JK then.
GM4JK in the group, M0AUG returning. Yes, fine on that, Keith. I've just had a text through from Nick to say that Jim G4JPA to say he's listening on YouTube tonight. So hope you're enjoying the meeting, Jim. And I'll call you when we come onto the list, then, because I know you're obviously using YouTube this evening. I want to acknowledge him now, and was it Jeff? I'll give him a break. I'm listening in the group. M0AUG.
M0AUG, the group of 8 November Tango. Very good evening to everyone also on YouTube. And first of all, the weather report. During the day, we had 10 degrees, plus 10 degrees, and now it's plus 11 degrees with heavy rain and heavy wind. We are expecting more wind during the weekend. So, yeah, that's what we are going to experience, I think, during the couple of days. Yeah, the Zoom session yesterday with Karen was very interesting and very entertaining, actually. Some nice stories there, like about the submarine and also her former Almer visiting the YouTube, our Zoom channel. So that was quite entertaining, I think. A very good interview. And okay, Bob, about long chat. Well, I didn't have the time to look into that today because we had a very, very busy day today. But I certainly will try to install that, and maybe we can try a test. That would be brilliant. Maybe on 15 or 20 meters or 10 meters, depending on the conditions. So some more news on the next over. Mike 0 AUG, the group of 8 November Tango.
On 8 November Tango group, M0AUG. Yes, fine and all that, Jeff. And I think everybody's agreed that it was a superb evening last evening on the Zoom channel. And I think the next one that we've got on this coming Wednesday is, in fact, the two of the team from TX Factor, who, if people outside the UK are familiar with TX Factor, TX Factor have now produced something like 31 episodes of very, very high quality amateur radio related programs. And I don't know who was doing the subsidy for them initially, but I think now very, very much the RSGB is helping to subsidise it. The quality of you can see the quality of the program. These guys are professional broadcasters, not people just stitching a few things like come together on home video. So I'm looking very, very much indeed to welcoming the two people next week. Particularly as I won the books in the Build 30, the books courtesy of the RSGB when they had the raffle there. So I'm looking forward to meeting you with Nick again. Over to you there, now then. You were on last week, and I'm just forgotten your name for a second. G8, and it'll come back to me in a second. Is it? Oh, actually, name and everything. I think it's Lou. Good evening, it's M0AUG in the group, Lou.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. The name is Lou, you're quite right. And very nice to be on this evening. Very good evening to everyone listening and on the net. I may not be here for the full session, but I am expecting a phone call and I may have to shoot off. But I'll stay as long as I can, Jeff, and listen intently. Anyway, I'll pass it back to you and see what others have got. M0AUG and the group GAKJJ.
Yes, fine enough. I'm sorry for hesitating on your name there, Lou. I know you've been on for the last few weeks, but it's difficult sometimes to remember everybody's name when you just see a call sign popping up. So thank you for joining us again this evening, and hope you'll stay with us for a while, but fully understand if things come in the way. So I think we're up to the top of the group again now. I'll give Chris a call, M7CRM in the group, M0AUG. Are you able to join us this evening, Chris? M7CRM. Dave said that the G6LU isn't going to be available this evening, and actually Jim G4JBA is following us tonight on the YouTube channel. Just give a check, is anybody listening through the Huddersfield repeater GB786? Come and join us now, please. Nothing out. Anybody else wanting to join the net who I've not spotted so far as connecting to us? Oh, back to the order again now. Back over to you, Bob, and then the 4X-ray Alpha Tango in the group, M0AEG. Group number 4X-ray Alpha Tango. I'm looking forward to the TX Factor. As a matter of fact, I probably have all of their episodes downloaded so far. As you said, Jeff, they do a professional job with it. It's one that I really enjoy watching, and I look forward to their new ones as they come out. As I said earlier, I haven't done too much today. We've had several power failures today, so I'm not even bothering trying to log on to parts on the air today. Just about the time I get one, we'll have another failure, so it just isn't worth it to me today. But I certainly do enjoy it, and I certainly look forward to these Thursday evenings when I can talk with all you fellows. It certainly is a pleasure to hear everyone, and good evening to everyone, or good afternoon to everyone that is watching on Facebook. I'm about to you here, but I will stay until the end, Jeff. M0AUG with the group, the number 4 X-ray Alpha Tango. Number 4 X-ray Alpha Tango in the group, M0AUG returning. Yeah. To be honest, Bob, nothing is more enjoyable than having your input on the evening. I mean, obviously the time differences between the UK and the US are there, but your contributions you make to this group are absolutely tremendous. Over to you, Mike Canjiana again. DL1BJW in the group with DL8BDT. Over to you, Mike, please. M0AUG.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey, yeah. Radio-wise, it was a meager week for myself. And, to say, we noticed some disturbances in our neighborhood. We couldn't locate it up to now, but especially on telemeters, but also there's rhythmic clicking sounds disturbing the receive end, and it's fortunately it's not all over the spectrum, but situated every 10 or 15 kilohertz, and it's when you hear it, you could think there was someone smacking his lips, like something like that. It's rather curious. Perhaps we get to the bottom of it. We try to anyway. Otherwise, only a few things to report from FT8 and FT4. There was 4 Yankee station for Yankee 1 Alpha on the air in the last days. I didn't know the call sign for Yankee, so I looked it up. It is a Vienna-based United Nations Organization for International Civil Aviation. So it's called the ICAO, or International Civil Aviation Organization, based in Vienna. I could work that, of course, it's not far away, but yeah, interesting. 5 days ago, I had a bit of luck on several bands with FT8 and FT4. I could work Hawaii, Maui especially, in KH6TU. Then again, Fiji, 3 Delta 2 USU, and some stations from Australia, including Victor Kilo 8 November Alpha Hotel, which is near Darwin, in Northern Territory of Australia. So that was quite nice. Nothing spectacular, as I worked all that before, but it's always a good thing when one can repeat the experience, so to speak, HR. But otherwise, not much. Yeah, looking forward to the weekend now. There will be another CW contest on the air, I think, from 10 to 80 meters, and perhaps we can take part in that. Let's wait and see what the WX and the local situation brings us here. So, passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, first of all, very good evening to both for Kilo Juliet Lou. Good to hear you on the net this evening, and also hello to all the listeners on the YouTube channel. Yes, Nick, the ICQ podcast, that's great that you did this. So we'll listen to it on the internet next days, and I think it's a great thing that by this way it's possible to get some other hands into the interest for the club. This will be a very, very good thing. Yes, radio-wise on my side, there's nothing very important to report. I think during the next weeks I want to make some fiddling with kids and so on, but at the moment, time-wise, it's a little bit difficult. So I have the microphone back to M0AUG for the group.
PDT with DL1 BJW in the group M0AUG telling. Yes, things might get out of the video contributions, and it's great, isn't it? The new club is getting exposure on these various channels, and obviously Martin from ICQ podcast has been on the net here. Not week. He was certainly on for a couple of weeks anyway, and it was good that he was able to join us as well. And obviously introduced Nick to Karen as a guest speaker. And then the ICQ podcast itself, I'm sure you'll enjoy very, very much. I was listening to it the other day. Over to you there, Dave. G677 in the group. M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group, G677. Thanks, Jeff. With regard to the aerials, no, I shall probably be watching them, but if they start going, they go. And there is no way can I put the one on the side of the house up. Although I put the brackets up, but that was a long, long time ago when I first passed my RAE back in 82, I think it was. So that was when I was young and fit. With regard to ladders, no, Alex actually let me go up the ladder that I fell off of back in March, but she was there to make sure that I didn't fall off. But she did stand to one side because she knows how fast I fall. No, no from experience. And Andrew, yeah, I shall actually be seeing him probably tomorrow because he's coming to pick up a Pi 02 from me that I ordered. They were on special offer the other day, so I got 3 for him. No, 1 for him and 2 for me. They're a little bit faster than the original Pi Zeros, which is quite good, especially for when you fire them up. Other than that, thank you, Jeff, for saying about the signal. Once again, I'm using the 7100s. In fact, it's the only radio I do have now. The 868 is playing Silly Devils. It looks like it's not CXing on DMR. It's CXing quite happily on VHF and UHF, but not DMR, so I'm going to have to look into that. Back to you. Golf 6 Zulu Sierra November to M0 AUG.
E6 in the group M0 usually returning, and yeah, before I forget, I noticed that your neighbour Chris has logged off and connected down again at the bottom of the list, and I will give you a call later on after his phone to do it again there, Chris, so do stay hanging on there and we'll keep the order of the group. And please, you won't be interested in going on ladders again, Dave. You know, we're a similar age and it's not things we should be doing anymore. And obviously there's people around there who can help us with these sort of things. And over to you there, Nick, and I'm sure you're pleased with all the comments about the meeting last night. G4IWO in the group, M0AEG.
M0AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, thank you, everybody, and good evening again to Lou. Good to see you, Lou, G8 KJJ. Glad you've joined us again, and hope you're enjoying the net as much as the rest of us. A couple of things from the discussion that took place during and after the meeting last night. One of them was the comments that were made about clubs and radio amateurs being welcoming to all, whether they're shortwave listeners, whether they're foundation license holders, intermediate license or full license, makes no difference whatsoever. And I was very happy to see that point picked up in the discussion last night, not just by Martin, but by others as well, because, you know, that's something we're very much trying to do in this club. You know, there's no one here who's is involved who is worth any more or less than anyone else. Everyone's got contributions to make. Everyone's got things that they enjoy doing in this hobby, and whatever it is, long may they continue to do that and get fun and pleasure from it. So that's just wants to make that comment. Just a couple of things that came up last night. One was Ken, G4VZV, was raising about whether or not we can try and find a way to link Peanut to XLX305D to enable people with Android phones that have got access to Peanut to access the digital net. And I think that's something definitely worth exploring. I think we've had several discussions about that, which is one of the reasons why we stream this on YouTube. We wanted to find a way to enable people to participate in the net, even if they don't have a DMR or D-Star radio. And Peanuts, of course, which is like Echolink, only available to licensed radio amateurs, may give us that, because I know Peanut is able to connect to XLX reflectors. And I think it's likely there's something we need to sort out with the guy that looks after this repeater, this reflector, XLX305, to ensure that we can have the Peanut users join us. The other thing that struck me last night was comment made by Robin up in Caithness in Scotland about the sad closure of his local radio club, and how he's very much enjoying Pennine Ham and being part of what we're doing and looking forward to the meetings and participating in them. And I just think that's great news, that in parts of the country where there are not radio clubs, or they're not functioning brilliantly, or they're not offering what people want, if people enjoy sharing with others, as we all do in this club, what we're doing with radio, then I think we're performing a very, very good job. And the final thing I wanted to mention was just to get it in there again. We talked about this last night, but we are going to run a sked if we can find him on 10 meters with Tom ZS1 AFS. The likely timescale now is Wednesday between 12 and 2, between 1200 Zulu and 1400 Zulu, 1200 British time and 1400 to see if we can. We'll pick a frequency on 10 meters on sideband and make a call for Tom and see if we can link some of the club members with Tom ZS1 AFS, which will be very good indeed. So back to you, Jeff. M0 AUG in the group G4IWO.
Yeah, as far as the peanut issue is concerned, I have replied to Nick's comment on the email. I think the difference in some respects between our reflector and others, a lot of the reflectors that are used are run by radiometers in a private capacity. The XLX305 reflector is run by Darren, who is a member of the Oldham Radio Club, and it gives us time on his mainframe servers down in the data centre down in Manchester. And I sent all the contact details across to him. I sent an email over to David, PA7LIM today, and he gave me some contact information as well. And I think the first stage on that is, and the last hour as well, that we don't have any security implications, because what we're getting the benefit of is our reflector being latched onto somebody's business system. And therefore, obviously, Darren has got, the things to take into account apart from providing something for the hobby here. So we'll see how that develops in due course. I've asked him to appraise it and come back to us, and we'll see where we go from there. If not, we'll have to think again about Peanut and maybe some other radio amateur within the club wants to put an XLX repeat on there, just for Peanut and things. But we'll take it from there, but we can't jeopardise the security of somebody's business for the sake of a hobby. Over to you there, Keith in Scotland. GM4JKZ in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG, the group GM4JKZ, yes, I totally agree with you there on the security issue. Hadn't thought of that aspect, I must admit, after raising it last night, but that's good. I think in podcast, I did listen to it, and like yourself, I started at the age of 13 with old equipment, building my own, so that's good fun. Things there. I've bought 2 books, believe it or not, from RSGB. The antenna notebook, because you guys out there have been talking about it on and off, so I thought I must get myself a copy, and I'm very, very impressed. Content. And the other book I got, believe it or not, is CW Way of Life. And I thought, well, I was one of those that took the Morse test to get my full life back in 1976, early 76, and then let it drop for sideband operation as I had a KW2000. So I thought I'll try and get back into it, and I have been listening to CW on and off, and looking at some of those learn CW online, but I tend to go back to favourite still is the LCWO Learn CW online app that you can get on Windows. I had my jab today, that's the other thing. So I'm probably going to end up with 2 aching arms tomorrow morning when I wake up. So influenza one arm and COVID in the other. But radio-wise, I suppose the only 2 things that I can say I was quite pleased with, I worked at station 4U30 Bravo, is the UN Global Service Centre, that was a radio club down in Italy. and it's an interesting read on their website. See what that one's about. But I think my guest for this time, because I put on WhatsApp, was working the Antarctic base. Both of those I worked last Monday. The RI1 ANE, who, believe it or not, he's on 40 meters tonight. I just noticed him in the lift, and he's next 5 with me. So if anybody wants to try and work it, 40 meters and have a listen. But I have worked him twice now. I worked him about 3 years ago, I think it was. They did the Russian base down there. And I had the confirmation by EQSL, which was the first time I've had confirmation from him. So I'm really chuffed about that. So there we go. I think that covers all the points that I made notes of. I'll certainly have a listen out on Wednesday, as you say, between 12 and 2, 10 metres, 5 bands, if we can hear Tom up here anyway. And I hope everybody survives the winds that are coming. So back to you, M0 AUG in the group from GM4JKZ.
Yeah, 4JKZ in the group M0 AUG. Yeah, thanks for that, Keith, and thanks for your comments as well. We'll just have to see how the peanut thing gets on. I don't want anything to disturb obviously the kindness of one of our members of the Oldham Radio Club, who's put it on originally for the Oldham Amateur Radio Club, which we jumped on the back of. He's not in a position, obviously, where he can jeopardise his business for the sake of amateur involvement, so we'll just have to see how that develops over. I'll wait for him to come back to us. Oscar November 8 November Tango in the group, M0 AUG.
M0 AUG, the group ON8 November Tango. Yeah, okay. First of all, a very good evening to Lou. Nice to make your acquaintance. And I think it's the first time we made contact. My name is Jeff. I'm living between Bruges and Ghent in Belgium, by the way. And Nick, the ICQ podcast, I really enjoyed that. I think it was a very, very good effort you made there. Brilliant. So that's good. That will be on the net for quite some time. So some people will refer to that from time to time. So that's quite good. And about my radio adventures this week, not that much, although I managed to work VKZL on 15 meters at about 9 UTC and even a little bit later, let's say between 9 and 10 UTC, which is 10 and 11 in the morning, with quite good signals. So I was surprised. So 15 meters really interesting. Normally it's earlier. But that was quite surprising. And then in the morning, I worked also on 6 meters Kazakhstan, 3 or 4 stations from Kazakhstan. I saw Vietnam, was not able to work him. And I also saw a VK6 station near Perth, which was also not able to work him because the competition was too great. But anyway, happy to see and to hear them on FT8 at least. Another news is that today was the launch of 2 Belgian satellites, signed for scientific purposes, which will do research to the solar weather, actually. And they will be positioned about 150 meters from each other, and in that way will form a kind of a telescope. So that positioning between these 2 satellites should be very, very precise. So looking forward to that, how that will be developing. And actually, it's very important the research they are doing for us, because solar weather is very important to have a radio. And then another thing that I discovered today, one of our Belgium D-Star reflectors has a module to the QO100 satellite, which is surprising to me, but I didn't have time to explore that today because we went out to do some shopping and some other business, so I didn't have time to look into that. But I'm really interested in that, because that would be the way to let people from the States, for example, which cannot use the QO100 satellite, to have access to that. So I don't know how that works in practice, but anyway, that's a very interesting development, I think. I worked also a 4 Uniform 3 Alpha, which I cannot find anything on the internet, not on QSZ.com and not on any other website. So that was an FT8 on 20 meters, I think, for Uniform 3 Alpha. No clue what that is, but it must have been also to do with the United Nations, I think. And about the contact with Tom in South Africa, Nick, I saw on his QRZ page that on demand he is ready to do a PSK 31 contact. So maybe if we have trouble contacting him Wednesday, maybe we could ask him to put a PSK 31 signal on that frequency, for example, on 28.405 or something like that. So that might be giving us the chance to work him anyway, be it in a digital way. So that's just a question, because I saw on his QRZ page that he is doing that on demand, that he has everything connected to do that. Okay, Mike 0 AUG, the group boy, 8 November Tango.
November Tango in the group, M0AG here is having, fine, Jeff, a nice schedule of contacts you got there and everything. And I can't help on the last one that you mentioned, and the ITU contact. It does very, very much sound like an ITU call sign, but it doesn't exactly show up on QRZ. Who knows these days? Over to you there, Lou, and everybody's welcoming you to the club, and I hope you will join us on a regular basis. KJJ in the group, M0AG.
M0AUG, GAKJJ. Yes, thanks very much, Jeff, and all the comments noted. I was interested to hear what Mike was saying about FT4 and FT8. I've been spending most of my time on FT8 in recent weeks, and mostly on 40 meters, although in previous months it's always been on the high bands, but recently I've got an interest in 40 meters. And I was wondering if anybody could answer a question. I've got a 40-meter quarter wave inverting L, which works really well. And I was wondering if I should extend it by using traps so that it works on 30 meters and 80 meters. But I wonder if anybody's got any experience of that. I would be interested to know any comments. Probably they'll say there'll be a lot of loss, I don't know, but somebody with experience might be able to help me. The weather here has been pretty poor today. We've not had rain in the first part of the day, but it's raining pretty hard now. Wind's getting up, but I don't think we're going to see anything like some parts of the country. Anyway, I'll pass it back to you, Jeff, and see what else other people have got. M0 AUG in the group, GAKJJ.
KJJ in the group, M0AG returning. Yeah, we'll see what comes up in the next time round. We've got 2 more, I think, on the round so far. South FM, and CRM in the group. Are you joining us this time, Chris? M0AUG. You need to spend more time with Dave getting the connection sorted out for you down there. I think your neighbours of Dave's down in the Taunton area. And very welcome to the group, and hope you enjoy listening until we get the transmission start sorted. So over to Denmark and Oscar Zulu 1, Juliet Kilo Uniform. Good evening, Fraser.
Okay, based on parade, right? And we have something called Mad Club here, which means food club. And we had our Christmas dinner this evening, and it normally starts at 6 o'clock, but it finishes about 7:15. So no problem to come onto the net. But unfortunately, tonight it went on rather long. We had 3 lots of stuff, very traditional Danish meal, some fish, various bits to start, and then some sort of sausage, and then also some what I think in the UK you call pork crackling and pork butter. That's the Danish main course, and then Reese Alamore, which is rice and almonds, and cut up nice and small and all mixed up. So put it with the sauce and various things. Then a game where everybody wraps up parcels. You don't know what's in them, and then the dice are thrown around, and you kind of get a 6, and then you can run to any table and grab the packets off the table, etc. And what you end up at the end, 10 minutes of playing silly games, is yours to keep. And most of it's rubbish, but it's been a fun. Anyway, that's what I've been doing this evening. Today, getting my DX Commander also ready. Looks like we're going to have a dryish weekend, so maybe I can shit up. I've been cutting the wires to the required lengths and putting these fake tunnels on and things like that. So a little bit of a busy day, and also looking after cancer training, which is a shame. Hopefully, it will be sooner than later, because it's a bit distressing to see him at the moment. So that's what I've been up to today. WX here, pouring with rain, blowing a gale from the southeast, which is a bit unusual, but it's miserable and it's cold, 3 degrees, so not very good at all. So back to you and M0AUG, who's everyone, JKU group.
Hello everyone, JKU in the group, M0AUG turning, and first off, sorry to hear about your friend. As you say, the circumstances maybe sooner rather than later. The final festivities that you're already getting involved with your pre-Christmas celebrations, Fraser. And pleased that you found time to join us this evening. Right, back to the top of the list, and probably at 8:25, if there's a few comments coming out, it might be time to start our finals there. Over to you there, Bob, November 4 X-ray Alpha Tango with the group. Mike 0 Alpha Uniform Golf. Bob might have retired the lead, didn't make that last time around, so one more call to Bob, and then we'll move on. November 4 X-ray Alpha Tango with the group. M0AUG. M0AUG in the group, November 4 X-ray Alpha Tango. This concerns the group in a sense as we use WhatsApp, which is that this morning one of the news headlines here was Chinese hackers steal metadata from American cell phone users. One of them, of course, was T-Mobile, which I use. And what they're recommending is that we use programs like WhatsApp because it's encrypted. So they're telling us, hey, don't use regular programs, use stuff like WhatsApp to send your messages. And I found that interesting as that's what the just use. And thank you once again for running the net, Jeff. I look forward to my Thursday evenings and of course my Wednesday evenings. We have both meetings also. But it's my most enjoyable period during the week is when I'm on the nets, either on Wednesday with the Pennine, and I do get on with Henry's group, the Bedford group also, and several people that are a member of Pennine are also a member of the Bedford group, so I see them also. But thank you very much for running the net, Jeff, and good evening to all. It's spending my evening with you. And with that, 73 to all, and I hope to see you next week. G0AUG, yeah, M0AUG with your group, November 4, X-ray Alpha Tango. before Israel for Tango in the group M0AG returning. Yes, fine on that, Bob, and sincerely, it's always a pleasure to have you on in the evening. And, you know, you've given so much to this group over the period that we've all been together, and we do look forward to having the conversations with you. I know the hours are different over there, and thanks for taking the trouble to make with that, and also to the evenings as well. And I hope that we'll meet up again on next Wednesday evening for the TX-Factor presentation, which personally I'm looking forward to. And yeah, the Antenna Handbook that somebody mentioned was one of the books that I got in the TX-Factor drawer. My choice. Thanks again, Bob, and catch up with you next week. Do take care. Over to Northern German now for your finals, please, Mike and Adriana. DL1BJW with DL8 PDT, M0AUG. Over to you, Mike.
There's Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey was the final. Yes, first of all, thank you very much for hosting the net, Jeff. And thank you, all of you, for your company and interesting thoughts you shared with us. That was very nice again. And always looking forward to Thursday evening. Some last thoughts there. I think I mentioned it in the last meeting 1 week ago that the German Antarctic Research Station Günther von Neumayer, Delta Papa 0 Golf Victor November, is very active on the band. You could say south of South Africa at the shelf coast of the Antarctic, and they are very, very active on FT8. I've got them on my ham alert list, so they pop up every evening now, but I couldn't hear them myself until this time. Still working on it, but there have been several receive reports from other parts of Europe. What Jeff on 8 November Tango said about the Belgian D-Star repeater having access to Q100 to stationary satellite there, that is lot of people, I think, and there's also the question if the access is only for receiving or also for transmitting. That would solve a lot of problems. Looking forward to more information there. And G8KJJ, Lou, you were talking about FT8 and FT4. It's on our side, I can't answer your question, unfortunately, but on our side, we are using an NFET half wave for 10 to 40 meters, which is 10 meters long, and works very well for us. Even if it is only 4 meters above the ground outside, it covers practically all bands from 10 to 40, and so also 30 meters. It's a little bit tricky on 30 meters. That's right, but it's working. And on the other hand, we have also, especially for FT8, an NFET antenna inside the loft in the attic, so inside the house, and this is about 9.5 meters long, NFET, and it's got a 1 to 10 balloon at the end, a 1 to 10 transformer, and it's also very good, especially on 15 meters, and also on 10 megahertz on 30 meters. So no problem there at all. Even if it is inside the house. I've worked several very far away stations with it, and that is also something to to praise AI. So enough of that. Thank you very much again for this this evening's met, and wishing you all 73 all the very best and a very good time before Christmas. Also, a very good St. Nicholas Day on tomorrow's day, 6th of December, which is also the day for the namesake for our chair, Nicholas, and is a traditional day for children to get presents here just before Christmas. So all the best from my side. Passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, thank you very much for this interesting evening, and thank you especially to Jeff for hosting the net. Was quite an interesting and nice evening as always on Thursday evenings here. And yes, Jeff in Belgium, congrats to your contact to VK and ZL in the morning time. It's quite interesting that it will be worth tuning in at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning and even get a ZL and VK station here. So I think I'll have a try during the next weeks or days to catch that LVK perhaps on FT8. But I have quite a doubt with my antenna with the rubber cuff, which I use for FT8 here downstairs with my true SDX, but there will be a possibility to get a contact with my 2 watts station. So this might be a miracle. Yes, and next Wednesday, will be interesting to give it a try to catch perhaps Ken and Tom on 10 meters. So this will be quite amazing. Yes, greetings also to Fraser. Good to hear you down the log, and I haven't forgotten to make a scan, but this last week was quite busy, and I think we'll give it a try perhaps next week or so. So I say goodbye to all of you, 73 and 88. Hope to meet you down the log. Bye-bye. This was Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango, handing the microphone to M0 AUG for the group.
Yeah, Bravo Delta Tango with the on the W. Thanks to Roger and mighty contributions always this evening. We've got a real good group on there, and it's nice that the club has evolved into this friendship between the different countries all over here and in Europe, and obviously Scandinavia with you as well, Fraser. And what a fabulous way to spend the Thursday evening with friends like this. Can you, I presume you will, you'll probably be sending some email out to remind people about the schedule on Wednesday. I know I might forget if you don't remind me, but there we go from there. Over to you Dave, down in tones and fuel final, please. G6 in the group, and 0 AUG.
AUG in the group G67FM. Yeah, thanks very much, Jeff, for running the net as usual and making a very fine job of it. First of all, Chris, it's definitely not him messing about. He's in hospital. So I've been texting him over the last day or two since he's been in there. So I can confirm he's nowhere near his house. I think he's having all his hotspots are playing up. I'll have another word with him and get him to set them on a different channel. See if that can alleviate the problem. He thought he'd done it the last time I spoke to him, but obviously there's still playing silly devils. As with regards to ladders, well, no, I keep off of them unless I've really got to go on, and they're not very high. I don't like them, not now anyway. A fractured skull is more than enough to keep me off them, and I certainly don't want another one. And yes, welcome to our new member. Sorry, I've just forgotten your name, which is nothing unusual with my memory. And as Adriano said, I wish everyone on here a Merry Christmas. Although I do think we've got another couple of meetings before Christmas, so hopefully we'll all survive the weather coming this weekend, and I'll speak to you next week with a bit of luck. G6ZSN to M0AUG in the group.
ZSN in the group, M0AUG returning. Yeah, final lad, Dave. Don't go on the ladders, full stop. Leave it alone. Let somebody else do it for you. And, yeah. You're one of the members of this group. We go back quite a long way there, Dave. I remember when I was at RSGB convention, or the HAM convention, must be 2 years ago, when we spent ages trying to sort out your connection problems with DMR. We got there in the end with the assistance of Charlotte from the Oldham Club, and it's been good to have you all along with us for all this time. Take care, Dave, and best regards over to Andrew as well. I look forward to catching up with you next week. We've certainly got a meeting next week and the week after, and contrary to the calendar, I don't think I'll be running a Natty Unboxing Day, so maybe that can be edited out somewhere on the line there, Nick. So thanks again for coming along tonight, Dave. Look forward to catching up with you next week. At this point now, I skip Nick, who's the next contact, and go to the rest of the group, and then Nick can wind it up as usual. GM4JK is in the group, M0AUG, for your final, please, Keith.
M0AUG in the group, GM4JKZ. Yes, fine there, Jeff. And yeah, Dave's got really good punchy audio, hasn't he? Really good audio on his transmission there. So, obviously doing things which are good. Couple of things. I'll have a listen around in the mornings to the cave, as Jeff in Belgium was saying, on ST8. That would be interesting. The other thing I'm looking forward to is next week's report from Bob on how many postal stations he's worked since the last call he gave us. So that would be quite interesting. Adriana, miracles do happen, so you never know where you can get me to. What I seem to remember, you have some really good distance contacts with your QRP set up there. And for those looking on 40 metres, maybe, for RI1 ANE, believe it or not, he was neg 7 about 5-10 minutes ago. It's now +6, and it's on 1100 Hertz. So anybody wants to see what they could hear and work the progress base down on Antarctica. And Fraser, yes, Commander, take your time building it, and you will get its performance. One thing I would, if you go and look at my QRZ.com page, almost all the way to the bottom, you see how I've set my base up. I've actually mounted the ground plate onto a piece of wood on the ground so that I can just disconnect the feed wire, drop two of the guys, one upper, one lower on one side, and I can actually lower the thing when high winds are around. Takes me now less than 10 seconds. So once I get out there, of course. Although last week, when it was frozen, I couldn't undo the wing nut because it had frozen solid. So I had to use one of the guide clamps to use a bit of leverage on it. So, a little bit of advice there. And welcome, Lou. Nice to hear you again. Okay, I do have a picture for the end, and I'll put it back to you there, Jeff. Thanks for running the session this evening. and look forward to the next one. Mike Zero, Alpha Uniform Golf from GM4JKZ, Scottish Border.
The group M0AG today. Thanks for your contributions, Keeper, this evening. And yeah, Dave's audio is absolutely fantastic since he got the 7100. 7100 is quite an old radio in the ICOM stable. I remember we bought one at the Oldham Radio Club many years ago, and the radio's still there in the shack. And one of the features that we bought on it, of course, is it can do 4 meters. So there you are, you never know. But it is certainly a lovely radio. And with the head unit, you've got the loudspeaker in the head unit, so you can actually stick the main unit somewhere down on the floor out of the way, connected to the ATU, and operate from the head unit with the loudspeaker built in it. So it's quite an innovative radio, and I thoroughly enjoy using the one at the Oldham Club there. So thanks, QT Thomas, on that, and look forward to catching up with you hopefully next Wednesday for the X Factor on the step next Thursday. Over to you for your now finals, Jeff, please. Oscar November 8, November Tango in the group, M0AUG.
GM4JKZ.
M0AUG, the group. 08, November Tango, Okido. Very good evening, Fraser. Nice to catch up with you there. And for Lou, his antenna issue there, one of the designs which is described by Papa Delta 7 Mike Alpha Alpha, that's Papa Delta 7 Mike Alpha Alpha, and he has a web page in English, is probably what you are looking for. He is making 80 meters possible on a 20 meter and set halfway with the help of a coil, a 110 microhenry coil, and an extra 3 meters or 2 meters of wires, which becomes about 23 meters. So that's probably the solution, or one of the solutions for you. I found a reference to Papa Delta 7 Mike Alpha Alpha in the book from Steve Nichols, Golf 0 Kilo Yankee Alpha, about steel antennas. So if you have access to that book, it's on page 129 of that book. So if you have access to that book, it's described there, and you probably can find more of that design on the internet, on the website of Papa Delta 7 Mike Alpha Alpha. Okido, yeah. The Belgium D-Star Reflector and Q100, the reflector is called Delta Charlie Sierra 011 Quebec for Q100, so that's Delta Charlie Sierra 011 Quebec. So if you log in there, you can see what is happening, and I see that there are 2 stations connected for the moment. There is a repeater connected, Oscar November 0 Victor Alpha, and there is also another station, ON7 Uniform Lima Mike, who are actually using, I think, or who are connected anyway. So I will try that and see how that works. I'm really curious about that. Okido, I would say thank you very much, Jeff, for organizing the net and for sharing it. I would say 73 to everyone. Hopefully we can make contacts to Tom in South Africa. That would be a nice one. And hope to catch you all again and enjoy the good weather, which will not be the case. But maybe there will be some contests around or some other activities. So will be days to stay home, I think. All the best. Mike 0 AUG, the group, and there will be a picture coming from 08 November Tango.
What I remember saying on the group M0AG returning, and yeah, fine on that, Jeff. And at the end of the on that, I am expecting pictures both from Keith and yourself, Jeff, as usual. And thanks for your contribution this evening. It's been a good night, and hope you and Alan are both well, and that we'll catch up with you next week on that. I'll see you for your finals, Lou. And I hope you're enjoying being part of the Pennine digital radio net. JJJJ in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUGGAKJJ. Yes, fine. It's been a very enjoyable evening, Jeff. And thanks very much to Mike for the information. And I'll certainly listen out for DP0GDN. I haven't worked Antarctica. I have tried. I've heard them on. I've made contacts, but never completed the QSO. And so I would look forward to that if I could make it. And if I have thought about a half-wave end-fed inverted L, at the moment it's a quarter wave, and it does work really well, but it's of course a single band, 40 meter, and I was trying to extend it, but I'll certainly look into that. And thanks very much, Jeff, for your input. PD7MAA, I'll look out for that and see what I can find out. So I'll say 73 to the group. It's been very enjoyable, and we'll look forward to the next one. This is Golf 8 Kilo Juliet. Back to you, Jeff, M0AUG.
JJJ group, M0AUG Tony. Yeah, thank you for that, and I hope you're going to enjoy the group on a regular basis. I'm not sure what you've been on for Wednesday night Zoom meetings or not for the Pennine Ham. They're free to join whether you're a member of Pennine Ham or not. And the next one next week is the team from Reflector. So if you can tune into to the Zoom meeting there, details available on the Pennine Ham website there. I look forward to catching up with you next week certainly. Thanks for your contributions tonight. Over to you there, Fraser, for your final, please. Oscar Zulu 1, Juliet, QD uniform, M0AUG.
One JKU. Yeah, thanks indeed to pass it to me. Jeff, I missed the Tuesday net, but made the Sunday net, and it was completely around. But I'll try again next Tuesday on that one. And Adriana, yeah, anytime, just give us a shout on WhatsApp is the best thing. I think you've got my personal bit, you know, my whatever I'm using on WhatsApp. Better than to use the Pennine Ham I can't think of the name of what you call it, but anyway, the messaging system. You know what I mean. And we can make a schedule at some point of that. Last night's Zoom meeting was pretty good, I thought, and quite interesting and quite nice because it was a bit of banter back and forwards, etc. Very nice indeed. That was quite enjoyable. So that's me, 7 threes, and hear you all next week, I hope. OZ1 JKU, clear, and going QRT not long after this.
OZ1 JKU in the group M0AUG for the final. Okay there, Fraser. I don't know whether there's a misunderstanding or not. We don't do a Sunday net. We don't do a Sunday net from Pennine Ham. There is a Sunday net on XLX305 Alpha, which is the Sunday net from 0930 UTC for an hour from the old amateur radio club, who are the owners of the site that we use here. So the Sunday net is on XLX305 Alpha from 0930 UTC if you want to join that one. I'm not aware of the Tuesday net. So obviously we'll hope to see you on next Wednesday for the Zoom meeting, and obviously next Thursday next week for the D-Star net. So thanks for joining us this evening, and thanks for your contribution. Okay, over to you then, Nick, for the final tonight. G4IWO in the group, M0AUG.
Yes, M0AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, first of all, Jeff, on Lou's point of the end-fed half wave. Yeah, a 20 meter effectively end-fed half wave obviously works as an inverted L, and you can extend it to 80 meters. Apart from the site, the YouTube channel, there's a couple more very interesting ones. Colin, Mike Zero, Oscar Papa X-ray, he is very prolific in designing antennas, and he's produced a video on making a coil to extend the 40 meter end-fed half wave. So effectively, where it's currently 20 meters, adding another 2 or so meters to the end with a coil in between, so that you've got the coil, then the extra 2 meters of wire. And Jeff's absolutely spot on. And I know this because I've made one myself, 110 microhenry coil, something like 50 odd turns on a 5 centimeter piece of PVC plastic pipe. The other YouTube channel that's very very interesting, Luke, I thoroughly recommend, is a US one, November 3 Victor Alpha November, and he goes into detail about adding some coils to extend the use and operating frequency of an end-fed half wave, whether that's a straight half wave or whether it's put up as an inverted L, makes no difference. The same principle applies. So just thought I'd just add to the comments that Jeff made there, Lou, and also to agree with everyone, the antenna notebook, I think, is a superb collection. Lorna, who came and spoke, if you remember, about the work she did in editing that, has done a superb job selecting some really interesting articles and putting them all together. So reminders from me, next week we have Bob, Golf Zero, Foxtrot Golf X-ray, and Nick, 2E0FGQ, who are two of the people behind TX Factor, coming along to give us a presentation about TX Factor, how they started, what they do, and where they're available. And of course, the following week, it's going to be our Christmas evening on the 18th of December. No speaker, not really. I'm going to do my best not to control it. We'll have it as people can chip in on any subjects they want. I won't attempt to go around the room. There were too many people last time we tried that, and it was just a bit too much. So we'll chuck it open and try and get everyone who wants to contribute an opportunity to chat in a nice, friendly way that we're doing in the club. So on that, thank you everyone. Thank you, Jeff, again for your superb chairing of the net, and everyone for their company this evening. And see you all next week. Mike Zero Alpha Uniform Golf. This is G4IWO. Cheers and 73s to you.
Right over there on the group M0AG for the final. And thank you to everybody who's been listening to us on the YouTube channel, and those who might in future days. And thanks to you for supporting Pennine on there. So I'm going to say 73 to now for everyone joining in this evening. It's been another good night as far as I'm concerned. And I'm now going to ask both Keith first and then Jeff to send over the final pictures for those who can receive pictures on the Icon radios. So thanks again, everybody, and the 73s. Have a safe week and catch you next week.